You're watching CNET, the digital domain.
Now on CNET Central.
It's rush hour on the information superhighway, and the World Wide Web is turning into the World Wide Wait. We'll show you why.
If life in the digital slow lane has got you down, we've got solutions to get you up to speed.
Travel to foreign lands, meet new people, and kill them. It's war, and the next generation of internet gaming comes online.
Plus, just how fast is your modem? Stick around for our own download drag race.
And go inside the crazy online world of extreme sports right now on a special edition of CNET Central.
Now, from the #1 on-air and online information source for the digital age, this is CNET Central.
Hi, I'm Gina St.John.
And I'm Richard Hart. Welcome to a special edition of CNET Central, dedicated to the problems of getting connected and their solution.
You know, we spend a lot of time on this show covering all the latest developments in the online world. New websites, they're popping up every day, offering more information, more features, more stuff.
But if you've spent any time online, you know how painfully slow it can be waiting for graphics and audio and video to download. That has to do with a concept called bandwidth. Quite simply, bandwidth refers to the pipes that carry information across the net and into your home. And the problem is, they aren't big enough.
The issue of bandwidth is probably the single biggest barrier to the internet living up to its hype. Now, to understand how all this works, let's first take a look at how the net was built. Back in the 60s, the Defense Department feared a nuclear attack could cripple our entire communication system. From that fear sprang the concept of linking or networking computers so that information, usually text, could be scattered and stored safely across the country, not just in one computer system. When the Cold War ended, the net found a new home in academia. Scientists and researchers found that the network gave them an easy way to share their documents with others across the country. Then came the PC revolution, and in 1993, the invention of the web browser. This breakthrough software allowed consumers who had become accustomed to colorful graphics and animations on their personal computers to have the same experience on the network. That is, if their modem and internet connection allowed them to.
And since then, the internet and the World Wide Web have grown at breakneck speeds. In fact, a recent estimate puts the net's population at nearly 47 million people, with millions more first-timers expected to log on by the end of the year.
But can the net handle all that traffic? Endless amounts of information and rich multimedia have made the web a true alternative to traditional mass media. Every major news event plays out on the World Wide Web, causing many of those millions to log on for up-to-date news and information.
But while the amount of pure digital data increases exponentially with each new user and each new site, the information highways that move all that data are rapidly becoming jammed, and net gridlock may be just an accident away. Ah, the wonders of the World Wide Web. There's audio, video, animation, virtual reality, telephones, there's even live webcasts. And what's this? A traffic jam in cyberspace? What's going on? Think of the information highway as a real highway for a moment. Audio, video, and other information is broken up into little packets like cars and then sent along different lanes and highways to be assembled at the other end. The bigger the file you want, the more cars or packets you force onto that road, and everything ends up traveling on what's known as the Internet's backbone, the super high-speed network that connects all the other networks. And everything has to pass through a server. A server on the Internet is like a toll booth at a bridge. All the vehicles are packets of information that have to pass through this one point. When there are too many requests for information at the same time, things slow down for all of us.
You click on a hyperlink to get a page, and you twiddle your thumbs while the little bar at the right hand bottom of your screen moves across. Sometimes it stops. You get little error messages that say, either your server is really busy, or it's rejected your request, or something else happened, we're not sure, but could you try again later?
It's called Internet Gridlock, and it's a direct result of too many packets on the information highway. Bob Metcalf, whose expertise comes from having built the first Ethernet, says that if slow web surfing is driving you crazy now, just wait till you can't surf at all.
We had an outage, which is an extreme form of what I'm talking about, an outage that took 400,000 people and denied them access to the internet in its entirety for 13 hours. That's a long outage, and I've begun to call those collapses of the internet, and I expect many more, even worse ones this year.
Metcalf says that the unexpected growth of the internet is ultimately what will bring it down. But not everyone thinks the net will grind to a halt. For example, multimedia content providers such as Worlds, Inc.
I certainly believe that there might be some degradation in quality as we see some of the voice and video and audio streaming technologies coming online. But at the same time, people who are running the internet are financially incented to improve the infrastructure very quickly to support the flow of traffic, and I don't imagine seeing the internet crashing. I think that's pretty far-fetched.
Far-fetched or not, most everyone agrees that something needs to be done to help beat the backup. One solution is to form a kind of carpool lane for high-priority information.
Another one is to charge more during the busiest times of the day. The third solution is a kind of pay-as-you-go. The more you use the net, the more it'll cost you.
In other words, the more bandwidth you use, the more you'll pay to surf the net. So if you like to spend hours chatting around the world on your new web phone or listening to the latest streaming audio release, you might have to pay a lot more than someone who occasionally surfs or emails.
Don't go away. When we come back, you can go faster on the info highway. Get ready to put the pedal to the metal and supercharge your surfing. Plus, extreme sports from the comfort of your easy chair on this week's Best of the Web.
The ultimate is broadband. Not only is video great, but everything is great at those speeds. And that's where you can watch movies and do TV. So that's the holy grail.
Just ask the people using the internet. And I don't know, maybe at CNET you've got some snazzy connection to the internet, but real people they laugh about how slow it is.
And that's what we're talking about today. Low transmission speeds, clogged networks, and overtaxed machinery that make your net surfing slow. But there are several solutions on the horizon that promise to get us out of the slow lane and truly on the info highway.
The crucial part to most internet connections is the modem, the little box that receives web pages through the phone lines. If you have one now, the chances are its top speed is 28.8 kilobits per second or slower. But recent technological advances have been able to double that, creating the new 56K modems. This is the way information travels across the internet today. There are 3 different conversions from analog to digital signals between your internet service provider, your telephone company, and your computer. If we eliminate one of those conversions, information can travel much faster, and one of the new modems in your home can receive that information at twice the speed of a standard modem. So the plus side to these new boxes is they're available on store shelves today and can help you connect at close to twice the speed you already probably have. There's a serious drawback, though. The new modems may not always work with each other. There are several competing standards being used, and they are incompatible. Manufacturers are promising to work it out, but it might take several months.
So how does someone know which modem to buy?
Well, the best thing to do is check first with your internet service provider on which standards they support. Eventually, there will be a standard 56K modem protocol, and the manufacturers will release software upgrades so they can all talk to one another.
Now, if doubling your speed isn't quite fast enough for you right now, you might want to try dialing the phone company. They'll introduce you to something called ISDN for a pretty penny. ISDN, or Integrated Service Digital Network lines, are installed by the phone company in addition to the ones you already have. They provide speeds up to 4 times faster than the average 28.8 connection. Now, the initial installation can run into the hundreds of dollars. Monthly costs range anywhere from $30 to $50, but for some users, the costs are worth it. The digital nature of ISDN eliminates the analog line noise that can slow transmissions and trash connections. ISDN can also be used for voice and data simultaneously, so you can make a phone call or receive a fax while files download. The plus side to ISDN is obviously speeds 4 to 5 times faster than today's 28.8 modems at 128.8 kilobits per second. It also lets you use your phone line to do more than just one thing at once. The downside, of course, is that the installation process can get a bit complicated. It can cost you anywhere from $25 to $95 more a month.
Those high costs have meant ISDN solutions have been targeted primarily at business customers. But there's an even faster solution planned to ease the traffic jam for home users. It's a concept called ADSL. The phone companies have a plan for souping up the phone lines you already have coming into your house through a technology called ADSL, Asymmetrical Digital Subscriber Line. The reason it's asymmetrical is the speed at which you get information is much faster than the rate at which you can send it. The speeds are still pretty impressive. They aren't just thousands of bits, but millions of bits per second. You'll need a special modem at home, but the phone companies need to install special equipment on their end. Right now, connection speeds slow the farther you get from the phone center. So once again, the pluses for ADSL are it can come through the same copper wire you already have coming into your home, and the speeds can range anywhere from 1.5 to 8 megabits per second. It is still not going to be available for another few months, and the subscription prices are expected to be in the $100 a month category.
Now, if phone company solutions aren't fast enough for you yet, there's an even larger pipe already wired into millions of homes. The same cable that brings you the channels to watch this show are now starting to deliver internet content. Cable modems are hoping to help the internet catch up. Using the high bandwidth of coaxial cables, up to 10 megabits per second, major players in the cable world, including TCI and Time Warner, are already beginning to offer super high-speed internet connections to homes across America.
This page would take normally over 4 minutes of time to download on a regular 14.4 modem, and it came in as soon as I asked for it.
Part of the trick is what's called memory caching, where the cable modem companies try to predict the most popular sites you'll surf and get it to you faster because it's already in their system, much the same way your browser stores the last few sites you visited into its memory. So the upside is your connection would come through your existing TV cable, speeds of up to 10 megabits per second, hundreds of times faster than what you get through your existing modem. And the downsides are, well, the infrastructure needed to deliver full-speed two-way communication through cable is still being built.
We should add that the speeds we're speaking of here are under the best computing conditions. Your actual experiences with any of the technologies might vary significantly. We should also add that these are some of the most popular solutions to net gridlock. There are other concepts such as wireless satellite delivery and delivery through television and radio signals that are also emerging.
Just ahead on CNET Central, we'll speed test some of those boxes and see just how fast they really are. And use that extra speed for more than just work. We'll take a look at the latest in gaming on the net.
The little secret of the internet is that most of it stinks at 28.8.
I think bandwidth ought to be like pizza. You should pick up the phone and order it and say, I'd like a lot of bandwidth, please, and maybe they'll give you a pizza along with.
On CNET, the digital domain. The best of the web is brought to you by MCI One. Life just got simpler.
There's nothing worse than waiting for a web page to download, only to find out that it's not really worth it. But some sites are worth the wait, and here to help speed your surfing are our picks for this week's Best of the Web. First, we race over to Vertical Online. Jam-packed with mountain biking thrills and spills, you'll find this site dishes out plenty of off-road fun. Head to the mountain biking capital of the world in Northern California for a quick-time VR tour and a ride through its rugged mountain terrain. Then shred over to the video gallery for clips on everything from downhill racing to mountain bike design. And for those who want to share their own biking experiences, submit your adventure in their digital guest book. You'll find entries from all over the world. Are you ready for a snowboarding adventure? Well, surf over to the Fresh and Tasty zine for some radical snowboarding entertainment. This site touts itself as the quintessential snowboarding site for women on the web. Meet the top female snowboarders from all over the world. Click on profiles, view happening photos, and visit other cool cyberboarder links. And for the inline scoop online, skate over to rollerblade.com. Check out the latest in high-tech gear or download video tips for maintaining your rollerblades. From wheel rotation to brake pad replacement, you'll find all kinds of goodies at this site. And if you're looking for the best places to skate in your state, visit their interactive skate park directory for a local listing. For more Best of the Web, visit cnet.com. There you'll also find a site devoted to environmental activism and a site as big as the great outdoors.
Thanks, Gina. As we all know, where the rubber meets the road on the information superhighway is where your modem meets the internet. We all hate waiting, and Desmond Crisis is here from CNET Labs with a kind of a drag race.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we could throw these numbers out at you all day long, but it really isn't going to mean much unless we show you what it looks like.
What we're going to do is simulate watching the same homepage on the World Wide Web appear on your screen over and over at different speeds. And the first speed is?
Well, the first speed is 28.8. Now, this is what most of the people are looking at the world through, and it looks like this.
Okay, don't bother, put away the stopwatch, we'll do the numbers here. We just want you to appreciate the weight, and this is the weight most of us have today on the net.
Yeah, and this is the CNET front page. You can see there's a lot of different technology, including the Java applet and stuff like that. Takes a little bit longer than most, but let me just tell you, it's worth it.
That is roughly 15 seconds. Now, we can cut that time in half with the next technology.
The next technology is the 56K modem. Now, starting to see these here. Twice as fast as the last one. Take a look at what that means.
Okay. Again, just watch this and try to appreciate subjectively how long the wait is. All right, a little more than half the time with the 56K modem. And next?
The next, twice that speed, 128K. This is the ISDN terminal adapter or ISDN modem. And it's about twice the speed, and it feels a little like this.
Now, most people, when they first see an ISDN connection, say, ah, this is how pleasurable it can be surfing the web. And as you can see, that was just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, that was real quick. It really didn't cost much time at all.
Now, earlier in the show, we told you about a really fast telephone technology called ADSL, Digital Subscriber Line, kind of like ISDN on steroids. But it's almost as fast as our Clear Speed Champ that doesn't use a phone line at all.
No, it doesn't. It actually uses the cable you're watching your TV on. The cable modem can get speeds of about 10 megabits per second. Now, let's take a look at what that is going to feel like.
This is what the same page you've just seen a few times would look like cable modem speeds. All
Almost as fast as goofing off at work.
Clearly, blazingly fast. Once again, here's all four technologies at the same time.
Now, where this really makes a bigger difference is downloading a large file, like the shareware game Quake. That's 10 megabytes, and at 28.8, that takes an hour and a half to download. So just imagine cutting that in half to 40 minutes, 20 minutes, or 10 minutes with these other technologies.
Don't blink with that cable modem. Again, your mileage may vary. This was a simulation. For more information, go to cnet.com. Desmond, thanks again.
Thank you.
No matter what the bandwidth that you can provide externally, we can always provide a higher access rate bandwidth from your local disk.
The one thing to remember about speed when you're thinking about people who are surfing the internet is speed is addictive, and everybody needs more speed.
They're not going to get on the web and download a video at 2400. Just not going to do it.
Hey, if you want to be the first to get the CNET Inside Word every week, you gotta get Digital Dispatch. It's our free email newsletter, the ultimate behind-the-scenes guide to the ultimate on-air, online source in the digital age.
All you have to do is send email to dispatch@cnet.com. In the body of the letter, type subscribe and your email address. In the beginning, God created computer games pitting user against machine. Then came networks for inter-office communication. And it wasn't long before man and woman figured out how to combine the two and held the first Doom deathmatch.
Well, that was the 80s. Now there's a new breed of online gaming services coming out that makes it easier to log on and play games over the ultimate network, the internet. Gone are the days when the only game in town was against your computer. Now multiplayer network gaming is here, and it's taking the net by storm with Hart stopping, blast 'em up, kill 'em if you dare multiplayer games like Duke Nukem and Quake.
It takes that entertainment experience to a different level. The notion that you can be in a game arena with people from Atlanta, Boston, Seattle, finding out, are you competitive in this game?
Jack Highstand and the folks at the Total Entertainment Network in San Francisco are digital pioneers. They have developed an online gaming service which will make it easier for gamers to congregate and play games over the net. So how does it work? Pick a game you want to play, then create a room to meet in. If you can't find anyone, you can start chatting with other gamers. After you've found your nemesis, enter the game and voila, you'll be blasting away in no time. Of course, Duke Nukem and Quake aren't the only multiplayer games on the net. There are literally hundreds. including that old-time favorite SimCity 2000, well, the gang at Max's have repackaged it network style, as they too are finding religion in network gaming.
We've noticed that a lot of our consumers are really demanding multiplayer gaming. There's an enhanced experience with multiplayer gaming that you don't get playing against a computer. Computers can become predictable, but people can't.
But with the excitement of network gaming also comes some technology hurdles. With all the traffic congestion on the net, games are slower and get bogged down.
We've got a national delivery system in place which will deliver less than a quarter of a second latency round trip across the country.
That is fast, but it might not be fast enough since many games require instantaneous response time. Another problem is pricing. Services such as 10 charge monthly fees. Will gamers pay to play?
Hopefully consumers are willing to pay to become a member of a community with people that have the same interests as themselves. Right now, trying to find other players on the internet is very difficult. And these networks do a really great job of finding them for you.
With 2.5 million PC gamers out there, you can bet these services will find them all. Network gaming is big, and it will undoubtedly be blasting its way through your door very soon.
The Total Entertainment Network is now up and running with more than a dozen games, including favorites Diablo, Quake, and Warcraft. But there's plenty of other action gaming out there. Both America Online and Microsoft have launched extensive gaming areas, and the Cartridge Kings, Sega, and Sony are rolling out new websites.
For the links to these sites and all the latest on info on gaming services, the place to go is GameCenter.com. You'll find news, reviews, and a step-by-step guide to gaming online.
That's it for this special edition of CNET Central. We hope we've been of some help in getting you connected and up to speed in this wired world.
And if you'd like to find out more about any of the concepts and technologies we've talked about, or just need more information on the products we've shown you, help is just a click away.
CNET.com is the place to go. You'll also find all the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to keep you up and running online.
Thanks a lot for joining us on this special edition of CNET Central.
Thanks for joining us this week on CNET, the digital domain.